Don't forget to join us later on this afternoon. This is Seahawks Today. We are going to have a fantastic watch party for you. If you're not able to be at Lumen Field, make sure that you're in the comment section hanging out with myself, hanging out with Andrew or Searle right now, fighting through some of the weather going on in Dallas. You can hang out with Jerry, with Chad, with Kimberly, with Prince, with Michael, the whole rest of the crew. We're going to have an excellent time. So make sure if you're seeing this video before the game has started, hit that sub button, turn on notifications so you do not miss our watch party. Going to be an excellent time. Now, let's get into the video. Today is the big day. We've got the Seahawks getting ready to take on the LA Rams in a matchup for the ages. It is a trilogy. This is the way that it was supposed to be. It was always going to be the Seahawks against the Rams. The question was going to be, was it going to be in Lumen or was it going to be in LA down in SoFi? Of course, Seahawks taking care of business in Week 16 and taking care of business basically through the back half of the year to make sure that they were the number one seed in the NFC. I feel pretty darn confident in our guys, in our boys. I think that the Seahawks are going to come away with a big victory in this one. I got my final preview that we're going to get into in just a moment. But before we do that, I need to let you know about the mob mentality shirts that we got going on the show today. Go on in the comment section and in the description. We've got the link that you can click on, go over, buy a mob mentality t-shirt. It is sweet. It's the same mission over just like the Seahawks have. Show everyone that you're a true blue Seahawks fan by going in and grabbing one of those tees. Now, we are going to get into the things that you need to know about this game from the Seahawks perspective, from the Rams perspective. We're going to dive into some of the key players. We're going to dive into the injuries that are of note. And of course, we are going to dive into all of the important information that you need. So that way you come in fully prepared, fully understanding what this game will look like when you turn on that TV. Hopefully when you turn on your laptop to hang out with Searle and myself. Don't jinx it. Hit the thumbs up button if you want the Seahawks to beat the Rams. Make sure that you like this video if you want the Seahawks to be traveling to the Super Bowl one more time. I know that this squad can do it. Hit that thumbs up button. First, we are going to look at the big injury right now that is facing the Seattle Seahawks. And obviously, this isn't an injury that is going to keep out our quarterback, but is something that we are going to have to monitor throughout the game and throughout everything that is happening with this Seahawks squad, to the point where we might have to monitor how Sam Darnold is looking, drive to drive, play to play. Darnold is obviously dealing right now with an oblique injury. He suffered it last Thursday, something that he is fighting through and will be fighting through basically this entire postseason. Now, what is important to mention about Darnold right here and right now is that he did an excellent job not turning the football over despite the injury that he is suffering, because obviously with an oblique injury, he is not going to be able to throw the ball down the field as well as he normally would. Now, I would say that touchdown throw to JSN was very impressive. I don't know if he's going to still have the same strength on the deep throws and the deep ball. What's going to be important is what type of Darnold are we going to get on Sunday? In the previous two meetings against the Rams, Darnold has had an issue turning the football over. I wonder to a degree if that will be limited in this game, because Darnold won't be trusting his body and his arm necessarily as much as he would if he was 100% healthy. When he's thrown interceptions, when he's turned the football over, it's because he's almost felt like he can make a throw that is almost impossible for most other people. I believe that Darnold is going to play well in this game, not just because I think that he's a warrior and that he's tough and that he's fighting through the injury to the utmost of his ability, but more so because I believe that he now understands his limitations better. And so when you understand your limitations better, you don't put yourself in as much of a harm's way as you might normally do if you feel like you're 110%. Think about it. When you hurt yourself, you roll your ankle, you stub your toe, whatever, right? You protect that injury. Well, Darnold's going to do the same, and I think that will lead to him putting the ball in harm's way less and less. I think that Sam Darnold will have his best performance of the year on Sunday from a turnovers perspective. I think that Sam Darnold is going to be able to hold on to the football, and you are not going to see the turnover issues that he's had like the previous Rams matchups. Let me know if you agree with that sentiment down below in the comment section. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Now, let's dive into the matchup that we all are looking for and that we all need to watch. The Seahawks run game against the Rams defense is obviously going to be imperative in this game. One, because I think the Seahawks need to do a better job of holding on to the football. The Seahawks need to do a better job of controlling the time of possession. And if the Seahawks are able to do that, they're going to come away with a fine and stellar victory. When you look at what Kenneth Walker has been doing this season, I think it is important to note that his postseason performance has greatly increased his value and his skill set compared to what his normal year was, right? He clearly got more carries. He was jumping off the page on Saturday night, and he found the end zone multiple times in that game. We need that same Kenneth Walker against this LA Rams team because we can't allow them, with the edge rushers that they have in Byron Young and in Jared Verse, to pin their ears back and just go after our QB. Darnold's hits have to be limited. They have to be as small as possible for this team to have success on Sunday night. So that means that the Seahawks have to be able to run the ball. That forces the Rams to not be able to pin their ears back. Plus, it allows the Seahawks to have a better control of the football. Next, we're going to get into my players to watch for the Seahawks. I've got a crew of guys, couple on offense, couple on defense as well, that you're definitely going to want to check out in this matchup. But before I get into any of that, I need to let you know about the proud sponsor of today's video, and it's our good friends over at Marsmen. Nobody tells you about this stuff. One day you're crushing it, you're feeling good, looking fly. Next day you're wondering why everything feels twice as hard. And when the new year hit, I kind of treated it like a reset, and I really needed it. I wanted to feel energized again, not so worn down. So I'm keeping it simple and doing something natural that supports my body where it needs it. That's why I'm taking Marsmen. It helps your body unlock usable testosterone so you can feel like yourself again. Check out mengotomars.com to get 50% off for life plus free shipping and 3 free gifts. Hopefully you can tell that I'm a guy who likes to head on over to the gym. I'm always looking for the next thing that I can get in my recovery and strength training. Thank goodness I found Mars Men. Mars Men supports healthy T levels, energy, and stamina with 8 naturally clinically dosed ingredients, including vitamin D, zinc, and boron. The best part, there's a 90-day money-back guarantee, so there's no risk. Worst case, you don't absolutely love it and you get your money back. But over 91% of users report higher energy levels. Thousands of guys are feeling incredible results. Just check out the reviews on the website to see for yourself. For a limited time, our listeners get 50% off for life plus free shipping and 3 free gifts at mengotomars.com. It's a perfect way to kick off the new year strong. That's mengotomars.com for 50% off and 3 free gifts at checkout. After you purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them our show sent you. Shout out to Marsmen. Really appreciate it. Trying to get a little swoller in the gym. All right, we're going to dive into my players that the Seahawks need to have big performances for, and my players that I think we all really need to watch. Now, it's pretty simple. Number one, it's QB1. We got to talk about Sam Darnold and the type of performance that he needs to have on Sunday for the Seahawks to come away with the victory. What I think is most important about Darnold and how he has to be on par in this game, he's not going to be able to sling the rock like he normally does. I think we saw that on Saturday. He's going to be stiff. He's going to be sore. So don't turn the football over. When you look at the last 2 previous games against the Rams, they're basically identical in yards, in time of possession, in points. The reason why the Rams won the first game and the reason why the game was so close in the second was because of the turnover problems that Darnold had. If Darnold doesn't turn the football over, Seattle is going to win this game, in my personal opinion. I don't know that the Rams are going to be able to keep pace with the Seahawks defense or with this Seahawks offense if they don't get extra possessions. So don't allow them to get those extra possessions. Darnold needs to hold on to the football. And if he does, and he makes the smart decision, Seattle will win this game. Sometimes it's better to throw the football away and live to play another down than it is to just go out and try and perform at the riskiest of levels. Next player that we got to look at, Kenneth Walker in this one. Obviously, I already went into how important that run game is going to be for the Seahawks. But I think what's most important about Kenneth Walker is that he is now going to be solo. He doesn't have Zach Charbonnet there to really carry the load for him. And while there's going to be a staple of other running backs that are going to have opportunities in this one, Kenneth Walker is going to get the bulk of the carries. We are finally going to see what Kenneth Walker can be if he's the feature back, if he's the main back, if he's the guy who's running the show by himself. So we need to make sure that he's clicking on all cylinders and that he is ready to go. If he is, I feel pretty darn comfortable and I feel pretty darn confident with this squad. And I think that Seattle will be able to control the time of possession and they'll be able to win. I think that Kenneth Walker has a really good opportunity to make himself a lot of money on Sunday. Next player, Jaxon Smith-Njigba. To quote Jermaine Kearse, big-time players show up in big-time matchups. And JSN is very clearly a big-time player for the Seahawks. And this is obviously one of the biggest matchups that Seattle has had in quite some time. JSN needs to have a big performance, not because he hasn't had a big performance in the last postseason game that he played in, not because he hasn't had big performances the last couple of months, which ironically enough for him, he was so good at the beginning of the year that an 80-yard, one-touchdown performance is actually kind of like, oh, man, JSN had an off day. JSN has to be the straw that stirs the drink in this game. Jaxon Smith-Njigba has to be the wide receiver that we saw at the beginning of the year, making the big plays, making the big catches, making guys miss. Obviously, LA is going to have a plan for him, and he's not going to feel very comfortable in this game. He still has to find a way to get comfortable being uncomfortable and continuing to get open and catching big third down conversions and getting in the end zone at least once for the Seahawks team. On the defensive side of the ball, the big player for me to watch is, of course, DeMarcus Lawrence. D-Law has to have a big game in this one because Matt Stafford has not been brought down at all this year. You cannot allow Stafford against the Seahawks to have a third game where he doesn't get sacked. It feels like whenever D-Law comes in and he makes a big play, there usually is a turnover involved with it. How often have we seen D-Law hit a player from behind, hit a quarterback, and instantly the ball is on the turf next? If the ball is on the turf and the Seahawks are able to recover it, well, shoot, that's only good things for Seattle. I think turnovers are going to play a gigantic role in this game, and DeMarcus Lawrence can cause a lot of those. The next guy and the final guy that we need to look at, of course, is Leonard Williams. When you look at Leonard Williams this season, Big Cat has been dominant, and he has to do a good job with Byron Murphy in the middle of shutting down Kyren Williams and this rushing attack. But more importantly, he has to get hits on Mathew Stafford as well. If the Seahawks are using the middle of their rush to get to Stafford, to make him uncomfortable, to make him feel the pressure, to make him not be able to step up in the pocket, well, then we're going to be pretty darn excited and pretty darn exciting on Sunday because this defense is not going to allow this Rams offense to get moving. We all know what happens when Sean McVay's offense gets that first down. They get into a rhythm, they get clicking, and the second, third, fourth first downs all just continue to roll. Stafford has to get hit, and that's what this defense can do. When you look at the stats between these two teams in the two matchups that we have had this season, it is almost identical. Both teams 1-1. The Rams, they have one more point. The Rams, they have one more yard. The yards per play are basically the same. The difference is the turnovers. The reason why Seattle is not 2-0 right now is because they have 6 more turnovers than the Rams. If the Seahawks had limited that to 5, Seattle would be 2-0 against LA. But that's okay because you have an opportunity to fix that into this game. don't turn the ball over and let these 5 players perform at their best level, Seattle's going to be pretty darn comfortable. Which player is your player to watch for the Seahawks? Let me know down below in the comment section. We got to make sure that we don't leave any stone unturned. If there's any players for Seattle that pop up for you that I didn't mention, make sure you let me know in the comment section. Here's my score prediction for this game. I think it's going to be a little lower scoring than the second game, a little higher scoring than that first game. Seahawks coming away with a victory 28-24. Do not expect to be comfortable at any point in this game. This is going to be a game that is an absolute grind. I think the Seahawks, though, come out on top. If you're a diehard Seahawks fan, make sure that you come in and hit that thumbs up button. Seahawks need to come away with a victory. Plus, it allows us to have more fun and do more things here on Seahawks Today, the more likes that we get. Really appreciate everyone that has come in and hit that subscribe button to the channel. Obviously, right now we are at 81K. We're trying to get all the way to 82K. That is our new goal for the show. That is our new goal for the channel. Come on in, hit that sub button. Let's get to 80K on game day. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll catch you guys next time.